Is the chat working? Hello and welcome everybody. This is a special emergency China update. Best trade of the year, I guess. But first, turn off your cable news. There's nothing going on CNBC right now. The market is ramping. The Powell pump will begin in 22 minutes. There's nothing more important going on over there than what we're talking about here, because this is the most well-advertised cut in like market history. I think Fed Fund futures had it at a 99.99% chance of 25 basis points, which is exactly what we got. We had one, I think one dissident who was looking for a double cut, and then the dot plot is showing two more until the end of the year. But really, today is about the vibe check, I think, when Powell comes on for the presser. I will have you done here in time to pop popcorn for the Powell press conference in 20 minutes. Let's talk about China. Let's talk about China. Do you guys read my stuff? I think I promised like a week or two ago. I said this is my last ditch effort to get everybody on board, and I'm not gonna pound the table anymore. This is getting obnoxious. But not talking about China right now would simply be the wrong thing to do. This is the fattest pitch I've seen in my whole career, and we're trading it on a primary trend basis and a tactical trend basis. And it's the right thing to do because environments like this don't come around every day. I'm talking about bull markets. I'm talking about the best rally phases, right? And risk on periods of bull markets where you really want to press the gas, take on as much risk as you can, make as much money as you can in the good times, really just make that hay while the sun is shining. That's now. So we'll probably keep talking about it. This is the Shanghai Composite Index. What is it? It's the Magnificent Seven of China. China is the only country in the world that has a Magnificent Seven outside of the United States. Couldn't do this in any other country. It's just not there. It doesn't exist. If you go back, Q4 of last year, this was the fall of last year. And we have a variety of momentum indicators, right, that we use to track that thrust, right, that momentum thrust. It's really an initiation reading, and you could see it in this vertical line higher, this ramp up. And we got a ton of readings from our variety of our indicators that said a new bull market is coming for China. We got all excited and we started talking about it really this time last year. And then it didn't come. We had a nasty corrective wave. It looked like this base was completing. Again, these are the 7 biggest, most powerful tech growth stocks of China. This is the Apple of China, the Tesla of China, the Amazon of China, right? Go right on down the line. Google, Meta, all that. All the big names, Tencent, Baidu, Baba, you know them. We got the thrust. We broke out of the base right here, and then we failed miserably. And then we broke out again, and it looked like we were failing miserably again. This was the trade war stuff earlier this year. And it was really just a clean retest. And now look at this. We're right back off to the races. This is the best opportunity in the market right now, but it depends on what your goals are, right? How you want to manage this. I think, look, China's been up a lot. Just since last week, it's been up a lot. Let's see. It's been up a lot really since the April lows. There's a relentless bid for Chinese equities right now. So what are your objectives and what is your time frame, right? That's got to be the first question. For us, we like to trade the primary trend with common stock. Then we like to trade the tactical trends right? These waves along the way, right? You could clearly see just from this custom index, it's, again, an equal weight index of the 7 largest tech companies in China. And you could see where we are in a new up leg phase right now. So that's when you want to add the options, right? The leverage using these derivative instruments to make sure that, okay, we're in a markup phase now within the context of a primary uptrend. I want more exposure. And then you get out of the calls, right? When that tactical wave ends, and you stay in the common as long as that primary wave is in place. Baidu was our favorite vehicle. This was our preferred vehicle for China. I would say probably all year. Baba too. We've dabbled with Baba, but we've been really patient with Baidu. And the reason is I haven't seen a long-term coil like this in just such a long time. Right, Baidu was just this slow grind lower for several years now. Right, this was the COVID rally, the COVID ramp up, right, and then just this tight grind into really, you call this like a little saucer bottom. And what are we looking at in the lower pane? Up top is the volatility squeeze indicator, which is directionally agnostic. It tells us a big move is coming. But that down in the lowest pane, that's basically a trend momentum indicator. It tells us what direction that move is going to come in, right? So the first one tells us big volatility underway. A lot of momentum is coming in. And then we look at the trend momentum indicator and say, well, what direction? Is it going to be up or down? In bull markets, it's kind of easy because 9 out of 10 times it's up, right? You want to ride that broader wave most of the time. It's environmental, this kind of stuff. Right? A rising tide lifts all boats in the best of bull markets. So no surprise here. Our trend momentum indicator in Baidu crossed over, usually crosses over before that, and that's really the signal, right? But it is subjective, and I'll show you an example on the next slide of why. So the trend momentum indicator will fire first, right? And then we wait for the squeeze indicator to tell us, okay, that big move is starting right now. Why does that matter? Because when you are trading a short-term binary option system, your main consideration is not paying for more time than you need. Right? When you're buying calls and betting on a big move, it's about the entry. It's about the timing. You don't want to pay for too much time. Squeeze indicator tells us right now is the time where the move is about to start. Baidu's already up 60% just over the past couple of weeks. We got that ripper. We got double readings. We were in the calls, in the common. Here's what it looked like when we got in on the daily, right? So we'll look at the squeeze indicator on the weekly right here. We'll look at it on the daily, more for entry. That's usually what we share with members when we send out the trade ideas, right? But we like to see them align, multiple time frames. The daily indicator tells us big pop in the coming days. The weekly tells us big pop for the coming weeks. And if you get them to trigger at the same time, it's just the most beautiful thing in the world. There really isn't a better signal because you usually get a quick double, right? Because you get that daily volatility. You take your money back, right? We always sell half of our contracts on the double, right? So as soon as we hit 100%, we'll say, okay, who doesn't like a free ride? I want my money back, and then let the other 50% go, right? Let the remaining half ride. And if the weekly momentum indicator or the weekly squeeze indicator, is also firing, then it tells us we probably can ride this. It's not just going to be a couple days pop. It's going to be a couple weeks. And that's exactly what happened with Baidu. So here's what it looked like on the daily. We said, wow, look at this falling wedge. China is erupting. Baba's, working so well. Tencent is working so well. Build your dreams. New all-time highs. Something like Xiaomi. All these stocks are working. This is the Google of China, Baidu. Is that one not going to work? It's going to complete some sort of massive top in the middle of a brand new bull market for China? I don't think so. We got the squeeze crossover on the daily. We got in. We bought the August 20. On August 20th, we bought the October 17 100 straight calls for $1.40. And that's what happened after. So that's a pretty good trade. 1 month, like I said, we're out of half at a double. So you don't make 2,300% on the position, but your remaining calls, you could sell 2,300% gain right now today. We do this all the time. We look for these big winners because this is a home run system. The problem, though, you don't want to buy Baidu today. We're out. I'm out. I'm actually usually out before my members. I did not make 2,300% on any of those calls. We were traveling this week, so I'll usually lighten up. So I was out. Missed today's move for sure. But look at the squeeze indicator. Of course I'm out. My risk reward is terrible for this. Like what we're trying to do when volatility is pumping all the way at the upper bounds of the range, there's nothing for me there, right? This is where my edge is when volatility is down on the floor, as tight as it's been in months or years. That's where we enter, right? And that's why we entered when we did. Look, right? Now today, we're not in this, we're out. The thing is, just like the Mag 7s in America, in China, these funds rotate, right? They hit up the Google of China, and then the Google of China gets overbought or extended like it is right now, tactically. And then they rotate it into, I don't know, maybe an Amazon or one of the Amazons of China. Maybe some speculative growth stocks in China. Point is, it's all working. We did something similar with Alibaba. Got in probably 2 weeks before the Baidu. Yeah, so this was August 6th. We bought the September monthly 135s. We paid about 235. You could see the squeeze indicator down on the floor. You could see this nice little coil at the upper bounds of this rounding bottom, and then bang. See the squeeze indicator? Okay, that trade's over. Right? These are short-term trades. You keep your BABA common stock, right? I think we see new all-time highs eventually. It's a longer-term trade. It's not something you look at every day. But with the calls, with the options, you got to be really tactical. And we just keep seeing this money rotate around China. So here's some good examples. This is Kingsoft, speculative growth. Look at the weekly volatility squeeze indicator. Look at the trend momentum indicator, the PPO, and the lower pane. Both crossing over. This is as good as it gets, right? We're already long this one. We're going to double down soon and add some more exposure. Here's the daily volatility squeeze indicator. So if you join Breakout Multiplier, we're going to, right to your inbox. As soon as these trades trigger for us, we're going to send you the call contracts, exactly what we're paying for them, how we're playing it, and why. Here's XPeng. This is one of the EV makers in China. Build Your Dreams has been struggling. That's like the Tesla. And then like the smaller one. So I guess like consider this like a Lucid or a Rivian, right, of China. But like there's a big catch-up theme working right now with like Neo and XPeng, like the Lucid and Rivians. And the squeeze indicator and the PPO couldn't look better, right? So we have these opportunities in China that are not extended, right? So this one and this one does not look like Baidu, right? And this one, BABA. This is where we take profits. And this is where we redeploy that capital into new positions. Right? Okay. We got a good one today. Literally just sent it to members. Hopefully it's not running away with the power. Oh, it's not. It's not. It's not. Oh, what's going on? Is everything okay? Oh, yeah. A little pop and drop. Great. Real fireworks will happen in 9 minutes if they do. All right. This is JD.com, the mystery Mag 7 of China. I wasn't going to give you guys the ticker, but it's really not about that, right? Because we're not trading common stock here. We're trading the calls. This is the same setup as Baidu last month. It's the same exact setup, right? Just 4 weeks later. JD.com, consider it like the Amazon of China. And more logistics. There's 2 Amazons of China, maybe 3. PDD would be like, what about me? Anyway, the rotating, I think, out of Baidu, the Google of China, and they're going to hit up this one next. This is the dog of the group right now. And I think catch-up trades are the best trades that you could find out here in this environment, because in the best, periods of any sustained bull market, the laggards catch up to the leaders. The losers end up looking more like the winners, right? And even the worst areas become very viable. Actually, they become some of the best trading opportunities. Right? So that's what I think JD is right now. So you got the squeeze indicator telling you, wow, we haven't been this bad, this tight since 2017, almost a decade. You don't get volatility compression like this just every day. So again, this is the weekly. And when we zoom into the daily, look at this, perfect little pattern breakout. Got this little channel. You got the failed breakdown. Okay, bears, you had your chance. Go ahead. You're going to punish this thing. It's below 30. Here we go. Couldn't do it, right? Very next day, popped right back into the range, and then the rest is history. Now we're coming out of the upper bounds of the range. We're taking back the VWAP from the year-to-date highs. JD is ready to cook here. We're already long and made some money on some shorter dated calls. We're going a little bit further out here. We want to give this one a little bit of time. And I think it's going to do the exact same thing as Baidu in the coming weeks and months. And I think if you want to join us and ride this red wave out in China with us, you get a huge discount today. For the monthly plan, $295. We usually charge $495 for this. For the annual plan, $49.95. Right, that's usually priced at $29.95. You're not going to get a better deal than this. And as soon as you sign up, you'll get the JD trade that we just put on delivered right to your inbox. And honestly, we put it on earlier today, and I think you could probably get a better price on it right now. You take a shot. You know exactly what you're risking in this system, right? What you pay for those calls is your max loss. And, if JD does anything like Baidu, we'll go 10, 20x over the course of the next couple of weeks, and that should pay for your membership. I think over longer time frames, right, when we look out further, there are going to be so many more tremendous opportunities as participation continues to expand. We're already seeing it in China to some of these more speculative growth names, right? Like we just talked about with the Kingsoft and the Xpeng. There's a lot of these. There's a lot of ADRs out there from China. So I'm actually, as a trader, just thrilled that a new bull market is finally underway for China, because there's not another country in the world where we as, United States-based investors have as many options. Like really, China is almost just like the US. And you got a lot of liquidity in a lot of these names, and there's just a lot that we could do, right? So we're going to make hay while the sun is shining on China. And I think it's still starting now. Primary trend, people, you ride this out. I think this, this carries on for years. Excuse me. The runway is huge here, right? Because sentiment is completely depressed. Valuations are completely depressed. And the trend, the market is telling us all that's wrong, right? It's go time. Brand new bull market is underway. So there's going to be a lot of more trades to come in the future. China's probably been our best theme of the year. I would say definitely we've had plenty of good ones. But it's hard to beat at this point, with the performance from stuff like Baidu and Baba. And I think JD is really next. So sign up, guys. Join the team. We have so much fun here with Breakout Multiplier. It's a beautiful community that we've built over the years. And everybody comes in, they learn the system, they make it their own. And then we press the gas on these themes together. And right now it's all about China. And it's not over just because Baba and Baidu are overbought or extended here, right? We simply take those profits and we redeploy them into the next best thing, right? And we play that rotational theme, which is so real in a bull market. And that's all we're doing here, right? So I hope you guys join us. I'm going to check the chat real quick. I send it back to the sales screen. Click the link, Breakout Multiplier. What do? You come in, we'll send trades directly to your inbox. You get a weekly note, and then we do our live strategy session every Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern time, right? We break it all down. All the members come. They ask your questions. Like I said, it's incredibly interactive. We all learn together. We talk about what we're seeing, what we're trading, how we're flipping our doubles, how we're letting the remaining half ride, right? And it's just been a blast. So let me just catch up with the chat real quick. What's up, Harminder? Ovabone. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. Sam, I thought you're on a plane. That's Sam Gatlin on his way to Greece. Safe travels, my friend. Yeah, we did bump Kenny off the stream, Johnny. And he better never do that again. You like the new swag? Yeah, it's good. New stock market TV hats. Pretty good too. Powell, good afternoon. Yeah, man. The Powell pump. Powell pump. What's up, Curtis? Crypto is squeezing. Yeah, it is. Let's see what happens. We're going to know. 3 minutes. We're going to get you out of here. Okay, guys, link is in the chat. Thank you all for joining me, as always. Honestly, the bottom line is I'm so serious about this China stuff. I really like to pound the table and make sure that, our members get in on the best opportunities at the right time. Okay. And there's just nothing better than China right now. We've been all over this theme. We're going to continue to be all over it. And like I said, it's just starting. It's just starting. We had the big BABA trade. We had the big Baidu trade. We've done well in some speculative Chinese names. I think there's going to be so much more to come. So if you're in on this theme, if you're a believer in China, like we are, join us. It'll be the best thing you do. I hope to see you in there. Thank you all for joining me. Let's go pop our popcorn and watch the FOMC presser. Thanks, guys.